Well, in Ukraine, the fighting continues, and so too does the damage to hospitals and clinics. The World Health Organization says there have been 64 attacks on the country's healthcare system. That's 2 or 3 a day. It's making things even more difficult for the doctors and nurses trying to treat the injured. So now 2 consultants from Bristol are helping with life-saving supplies. Laura Jones reports.
The ruins of Ukraine's second city. Fighting here in Kharkiv has been as fierce as it gets, and like elsewhere in Ukraine, many of its schools, clinics and hospitals have been partially destroyed. Watching the news back in Bristol, husband and wife teams Simon and Sharon, both highly trained consultants with experience working in war zones, and their Ukrainian friend, Marina.
Watching my country being completely flattened, my people being murdered, you just want to get up and do something, and you want to help them.
Simon and Sharon knew what was needed, so started off small, collecting painkillers, antibiotics, dressings and medical instruments for the main hospital in Kharkiv. They thought they'd fill a van. They actually filled a 20-ton lorry.
When it left here, 5 days after, or 6 days after, Marina had given us the call. Everyone was in tears, really. We couldn't believe that the speed at which we had acquired the supplies that they said they haven't got and they need.
That first lorry load has now arrived at the hospital, and in return a letter of thanks back from the surgeons there. But as the fighting intensifies, more is needed, so now they're fundraising again to try and get even more complex equipment out there.
I've worked in the Ethiopian Eritrean War, I've worked in Somalia with various aid organisations. It's quite predictable the kind of case you're going to be doing in a war zone. It's trauma, it's blast injuries, it's shotgun injuries or AK-47 injuries or rifle injuries. So they know what they've got to treat. There's a lot of wound debridement goes on, there's a lot of resuscitation that goes on, all of which is quite a simple thing to be doing as a surgeon on the front line, but they require a lot of instruments.
They've asked for ventilators, defibrillators, an operating table, ultrasound machine, patient monitors, lots and lots of equipment, because the volume of people coming in who need care is huge.
So as the fighting continues, the hard work goes on to try and get what's needed to those who need it most. Laura Jones, BBC Points West, Bristol.